Jennifer Davies, a second-year teacher candidate in our program here at the Faculty of Education, has just completed her Practicum 3 placement and has graciously offered to come and share some of the ideas in her organizational binder that each teacher candidate is required to have for a Practicum placement. There are 5 specific areas that we're looking for, and we look forward to having Jennifer share her organization of this binder with you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Davies. I'm a second-year teacher candidate at Western University, so I'm just going to be walking you through a little bit of my Practicum organizational binder. So to begin, I have documents at the very front of my binder. So that should contain everything from completion of any documentation needed by the school board that you're working for, your information that you would hand to your associate teacher and to the principal at the school, and then anything like your police checks and any other information that might be needed by either the faculty at Western or by the school that you're going to be working in. The next one is the most meaty part of the binder, I would say, is instructional. So this will be anything from lesson plans, ideas for lesson plans, any handouts that you might have for students as well. Now myself, I've organized my binder a couple of different ways over 3 of my practicums. This way I find works the most effective for me. So within the instructional portion of my binder, I have each lesson organized by date attached to the handout that I used for that lesson if there was one, and then a sample of the student's work if available, and if not, I've taken photos of the student's work to provide. This is very important. You will want to keep any documentation like this because it's very, very, very important to use in a portfolio when applying for jobs in the future. So I find that that's the most easy way to organize it. It's very easy to find because it's all organized by date. So if I want to flip back, I've got all of my subjects from the date that they're taught, all in order, lesson, handout, and example of the student's work there. Then at the very back I have some resources. So if I maybe didn't use a lesson or I just had some notes about a lesson, I've included it in the back of my instructional portion as well. So any of my planning, if I've written down rough notes about what I want to put in a lesson plan, some meetings with other teachers about how we're going to collaborate and work together to plan lessons, any handouts that my associate teacher has given me that I maybe didn't get around to using but I want to use in the future, I've kept in the back of that portion there. So then the next section in my binder, we have student. So this, I have some example of some student work. I've got some photos of the students. So there's a couple of different things that I keep here. I have any records, so running records, attendance sheets, any observations or notes that I've kept about the students will all be within that section there. So anything that you do in the classroom that relates to the student that maybe isn't a lesson plan or in lesson plan format, I keep within that section. Then my next section that I have is the classroom. So this one is pretty important as well. This is where you're going to keep yourself organized. So I have some meetings from PD sessions right at the beginning of this section. Following that will be anything that you need around the classroom. So I have the 10-day schedule that the Thames Valley Board offers. I have my associate teacher's schedule of the day there. So I have 2 separate ones in this binder because we did have a reorganization while I was teaching at the school. So we actually did go through 2 different timetables. And then there's the Thames Valley one there. So Thames Valley works on a 10-day schedule, which is very important to know because you'll really want to know what day you're working on. When you're planning your lessons, you really want to know where that falls, what time period you're working with, how much time you have for that lesson. So that's all within that section of the book there. Then resources is the very next section. This is the very last portion. So this is where I keep everything that I may need in the future or during my practicum. So within this section, I have any planning that maybe might not have related to this practicum. It's just some general stuff that I can reuse in the future. Any websites that are of important value to me that I can use for planning or for instructional material. And then as well, my practicum binder is kept in this section. So this is anything you may need to refer to. I have curriculum documents, pieces from different instructional methods at the back of this book here. So anything that I'm questioning, I can flip easily to my resources and I can either find it or find where to find it via the websites. So that's just one way I find to keep very, very organized within my practicum, is to hold a very organized binder and to keep everything in order. The best piece of advice that I can offer is have that binder organized and be prepared. Bring that with you every single day of practicum. Have that there, add to it over your practicum, because that will help you the very most within the future. So be prepared, always have something in your back pocket in case those lesson plans do not work. The children will not know, and you might feel a little uneasy about it, but you've always got something there, you've got backup. So just be ready for whatever's gonna hit your way, be thrown your way, and keep everything. You will want to keep every little thing, from a note that a student writes you to a lesson plan that's failed or to a lesson plan that has gone really, really well, because that is all going to be evidence of growth within your teaching, and I think that is the most important part about practicum.